Jaksu felt bad for her. Sangji seemed to enjoy it. She took out her phone to send a message to her friends, quickly pressing the volume button to silence it. Jaksu kept his eyes closed, but then he suddenly spoke, asking her to tell him who had invited her to the movies. Sangji brushed it off, telling him not to meddle in the lives of young people since he wouldn't understand their world. The next morning, Sangji wiped Jaksu's face before leaving for class. He asked her to bring his computer from home, but she refused, firmly telling him he shouldn't work while sick. Jaksu was struck by how much she had grown up. Meanwhile, Sangji's roommate mentioned that Jiang Ming had been asking about her. Sangji apologized to Jiang Ming, explaining her relative was unwell, and offered to watch a movie with him another time. Restless, Jaksu tried to convince his boss to send him a computer, but his boss insisted he rest. Sangji visited Jaksu's home, curiously exploring. She was surprised to find a photo of herself among his belongings. Seeing a picture of Jaksu and his mother, she felt a pang of emotion and quietly introduced herself to the photo. While packing clothes and underwear for him, her hands trembled as she closed the closet door. Shortly after Sangji left, Jiang Ying arrived, visibly emotional. At the hospital, an elderly man was admitted to the next bed. Mistaking Sangji for Jaksu's wife, the man began advising him to marry her quickly to avoid delaying the young woman. Jaksu corrected him, explaining she was his younger sister, but the man misheard, thinking Jaksu was about to become a father. Sangji, frustrated, retorted loudly that Jaksu could be her father, which only deepened the misunderstanding. Annoyed, Sangji nearly fumed. Jaksu worked late into the night. Much to Sangji's annoyance when she found out, she regretted bringing him a computer. As Jaksu prepared to be discharged, the elderly man continued to advise them to take care of each other and marry soon. Sangji, exasperated, sarcastically replied that they'd marry immediately. Jaksu teased her, further souring her mood. After taking him home, Sangji left notes all over his apartment, reminding him to eat properly, take his medicine, and avoid staying up late. She explained she couldn't visit often because of homework, but promised to meet him when he recovered. As she left, she reassured herself that it was fine. She was just his younger sister after all. Yet Jaksu diligently followed her instructions, eating well and resting. Worried that Sangji might still be upset, Jaksu sought advice from Sister Siyun. She suggested he invite Sangji out for a meal to clear the air. Meanwhile, Jiang Ying continued to call, but Jaksu firmly maintained that there was no reason for further contact. Sangji went to the movies with Jiang Ming, but he turned out to be easily frightened, much to her amusement. Sangji saw a claw machine in the mall and remembered the time Jaksu helped her win a doll. She decided to try her luck and caught one. Seeing this, Jiang Ming went to another claw machine and also caught a doll. They ended up with matching stuffed puppies, which Jiang Ming gave to Sangji. Back at school, her roommates invited her to the central square for New Year's Eve, but Sangji declined, citing the cold weather and large crowds. Jiang Ming looked visibly disappointed when Sangji didn't join them. While her roommates went out, Sangji stayed in the dorm and ordered takeout. She received a call from Jaksu, who invited her to a company dinner where he could bring family. Sangji quickly denied being his family member, so Jaksu suggested they have a meal together to settle the debt of her owed dinner. At the restaurant, Jaksu apologized for the hospital incident, but Sangji brushed it off as unimportant. As they enjoyed their meal, Jiang Ying appeared unexpectedly, angrily pouring water on Jaksu. Sangji retaliated by throwing water back at Jiang Ying, who was dragged away by a friend. Jaksu stood protectively in front of Sangji, leaving both of them embarrassed by the scene. Sangji helped Jaksu wipe his face and asked who Jiang Ying was. Jaksu explained she was his father's former creditor. Sangji recalled seeing Jiang Ying before and reassured Jaksu that he shouldn't let her bully him. Touched, Jaksu thanked her solemnly. As snow began to fall, Sangji silently wished for Jaksu's happiness and hoped to be the person by his side. Jaksu also made a wish, hoping Sangji would always be happy and healthy. Meanwhile, Sangji's roommates were making their own wishes. Wang Wang's wish seemed to involve Jiang Ming, but Jiang Ming's thoughts were entirely on Sangji. Jaksu encountered Jiang Ying again outside his building. She apologized for her earlier behavior but claimed Jaksu owed her forever. She reminded him of the tragedy involving their fathers, but Jaksu firmly stated he had repaid everything and owed her nothing. Jiang Ying persisted, saying Duan's mother had promised to care for her. Jaksu ignored her and reflected on the past. When his mother and he had gone to Jiang Ying's family to apologize, he had endured gossip and rejection from classmates, including Jiang Ying, who once had a crush on him. Pushing these memories aside, he felt relieved seeing a photo of himself with Sang-ji. As fireworks lit up the sky, Duan Jiaxu watched from his rooftop and sent Sang-ji a picture. She replied with New Year's greetings, which he cherished. He considered changing her contact name to Zhizhi, a nickname from his family, but decided against it. Later, Qianfei excitedly announced his engagement in their group chat, calling Duan Jiaxu late at night to gossip about his love life. Duan Jiaxu found himself thinking of Sang-ji's face. Meanwhile, Sang-ji, wanting to praise Duan Jiaxu for something, messaged him to say she would visit his company. After exams, Zhang Ming suggested going to a bar, but Sang-ji declined, claiming she needed to deliver an electronic peephole to a relative. When Sang-ji arrived at Duan Jiaxu's company, he was nervous upon seeing her message. However, Jiang Ying was causing trouble downstairs again. As Sang-ji left the peer hole for Duan Jiaxu, her brief interaction with him left her feeling misunderstood. She quietly left, hoping her feelings hadn't been too obvious. That's it for today's recap. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all the latest recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.